This one I'll do a little longer because I love me some Billy Joel.
You were so done with every other one.
Love me. I was, but it's Billy Joel. I love me some Billy Joel.
You're like, enough of this.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Kazoo, your best podcast to get all sorts of nerdy news, gaming, just fun conversations, and actual movie reviews. Not just, random lettering and some music. We actually do reviews here. You're welcome. I am the official Megs. To my right, to on the screen, technically, is...
I'm KingVonSchweetz, and I'll give you all reviews in the form of whole numbers.
Nice. No prime, just whole numbers.
No points, just whole
No square
7,
roots.
8, 9, or
Nice. Screw me for having points. And below us,
It's your other co-host JPhrygian, who oh man, the shots between these two, and then I somehow get thrown in sometimes. Y'all are hilarious.
I didn't even take any shots yet today. So, anyways,
Well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
oh,
Just kidding.
you ain't lying. And if you think about it, at 10 at like noon, it's already 5 o'clock UK. So if you go a little bit further, just saying. Hell, in some places like in Australia and stuff like that, you're a day behind. You got to catch up. That's what I'm saying.
God,
drinking.
it's too much, man.
Let's talk about Star Wars.
Speaking of being behind, I believe it's behind the times is what's going on with Star Wars right now. Jordan, would you like to talk about it, sir?
Oh my goodness gracious. So y'all, I know we brought it up a little bit before on our last podcast. Oh my goodness. This stuff with Moses Ingram, man. Like, what is going on with y'all? Hold on. I'm trying to share the screen.
You got it?
Bro. Oh, y'all see it? Okay, cool.
Oh, you got to add it. I added it.
Y'all didn't see all that.
I got you.
Yeah. So everybody, there actually have been official statements from Star Wars themselves over the controversy with a lot of, I'm no longer calling them fans. I now use the term toxic viewers about everything going on with Moses Ingram. Star Wars has said they're proud to welcome her to the Star Wars family and excited to see Reva's story to unfold. If anyone intends to make her feel in any way unwelcome, we have only one thing to say: we resist. And my favorite, there are 20 million sentient species in the Star Wars galaxy.
That one's the one that got me.
Yeah. So yeah, I know both of you saw this. Adam, you thought you had?
No, I mean, like, honestly, I thought you said, did I have something? I was like, no, I don't have anything. No, but I mean, to add on it, yeah, like, it's just interesting to bring up, and a lot of things that everyone's saying is like, they don't like her acting. And look, if you don't like her acting, that's fine. But some of the things that are being said about her is she's added just because of who she is and her, and the fact that she's black and stuff like that. And like that stuff does not fly. But the problem is, like, everyone's like, oh, this is horrible. I can't believe this is happening. This happened, and I put the video out back in 2015 with John Boyega when he was in Star Wars. So this isn't a new thing. This is just the toxicity of this horrible fandom of certain things. And I mean, even look at the Rotten Tomato score, like I showed. Was it like 57% fan view for Rotten Tomato? And it's like, and I said it was being fan bombed, and everyone's like, oh, it's not being fan bombed. It's not even a good show. It's a great show.
It's really good.
Yeah. And if you don't like her acting, let me remind you, nobody liked Anakin's acting, but we just got done praising Hayden Christensen as if like Tony Soprano came on stage, and that was okay. Like, everyone forgot about the horrible acting he did in the first two movies.
I mean, it's the same effect with Andrew Garfield, Amazing Spider-Man 2. Oh, it's a terrible movie. Somehow that turned into he wasn't a great Spider-Man, and now like he comes back and everyone loves him. Like, it's just, again, that's why for the next actual section, but before that, Jacob, do you have anything to say?
I made a video about this before it was even happening to Moses. But when creators on TikTok like Straw Hat Goofy and some others had said this is why I don't talk about Star Wars or like even get in it.
Yeah.
Because people are just toxic. Even outside of racism, there's sexism, there's just ignorance, there's a whole mess of immaturity. And like the video I made on it was, if you think about it, racism, sexism, especially racism, has no place in Star Wars because they show you the bad guys from the beginning of episode 4.
Mhm.
And anybody want to tell me what the bad guys look like?
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're all old white men, and underneath Darth
Mhm.
Vader's mask, old white man, rarely any
Right.
women, rarely any people of color, and never some other species other than human. It's always human, and they're always white.
And if you think about it, the first female villain that we get is Captain Phasma.
Yeah, and she's
White.
There we go. Yeah, and the whole thing, I think we even said it last week, like
Mhm.
George Lucas is like such an advocate for people of color being recognized in cinema, and
Yeah.
he's even gone as far as to make an entire universe that people have fallen in love with, where the good guys are the minority and the good guys are the oppressed. And like, it's just, I don't know, it's just so clear to me that like there really is no place for racism, but
And it's
yet
crazy how that's like right in
it
people's face.
continues to happen every single time they put a person,
Mhm.
even if they're not on screen as a person of color. Like it happened with Jar Jar Binks. Like the actor for Jar Jar Binks, Ahmed Best, is a person of color, and homie couldn't even leave his house for years.
Yeah.
And like, you know, maybe it's
Ridiculous.
not a race thing. Maybe it's just because people hate Jar Jar or think he's a joke. But like the fact that it's a trend and it's happened with 3 people now within the
Mhm.
past 20 years.
Well, not even
is
like Star Wars.
absolutely
Look at Xochitl Gomez. She got bullied off of the internet and sent death threats because of not race, but because of the LGBTQ stuff that was in Doctor Strange from other countries that oh, I'm sorry. That's right. She has control of the movie. That because she's totally in it. That makes sense. Well, get ready, internet. Get ready, everybody. We're getting a Latin Supergirl. We're getting a different Batgirl.
Mhm.
We're getting what else? Michael B. Jordan's doing a Black Superman. What else are we getting? We're getting tons of different nationalities. So you know what? Get out of your system now. Do whatever you want, I guess. But do me a favor, as Jacob the other day kindly said in a quote. Hey, do me a favor. Shut the fuck up.
the fuck up.
Mhm. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a thing. And like I actually said this because like as a new fan, right? Like because even this is a place where sometimes you can't even say you're new at like watching something, right? Because people are like, oh, you hadn't been there since this, so you're not a real fan. Like that again goes with that toxic viewership, right? And I make this akin to the same weirdos, and this is the problem. Like even a lot of people who are like, I don't like this character, you show hate to the actor, and that like
Yeah.
that doesn't make any sense. I made a video on it. I said the same thing happened as far as gaming wise. The Last of Us Part 2, Laura Bailey, who voiced Mary Jane in the Marvel Spider-Man game, but then voiced Abby in The Last of Us Part 2 because of something the character Abby did in the game. People sent death threats to Laura Bailey. It's like similar thing, and it's just like what is wrong with you to do like that doesn't even compute.
Yeah.
This is a real life person playing a character.
Yeah, the whole thing's wild. But there was good news out of this weekend that had to do with Kenobi.
Oh
Jordan?
yeah, true. We got good news that Obi-Wan Kenobi also was the most watched original Disney Plus series premiere
Wait, where is it?
globally to date. It was Yeah. So, well, there was a lot of serious note statement from Star Wars, statement from Ewan McGregor himself in support of Moses and against the toxic viewers, because as Ewan McGregor said, if you're a racist bigot, you're no fan of his. We had this big W for Star Wars. Obi-Wan Kenobi took over the charts on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, that first of all, that third episode,
Oh,
so good. We'll
yeah.
get into that later. We wanted to cover
Mhm.
this little section of it for the moment.
Right.
But let's talk about it to get over with, because I need to gush about it. And Jacob just saw it. Hey, does everybody remember this movie called Top Gun back in 1986? Anybody? Anybody?
Yeah, that movie was okay.
Yeah, that understand. Very understated. It's wildly okay. Maverick, though.
No, that movie.
Yes.
That movie was much better than okay.
Jacob, why don't you talk about it?
You got the
As
fresh
someone who
eyes
was
on it.
not a fan of Top Gun period, the original, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I just thought it was a good story of loss and what it is like to lose a brother or a friend. And it really didn't go beyond that for me. It wasn't really a love story. It had some action in it, but I don't know. I just wasn't that impressed. With this movie, it hit every little bone that you wanted picked at. Like, it hit the love side of it. It hit, and not just the love side of it.
With
It gives
technically an old love.
yeah, it gives you a perspective on love from somebody who's two people that are well into their 50s and who have, one has a kid and, who have been through heartbreak together before. And it's not something that you see in movies very often. Then you also get the action of Top Gun, which, from watching some of the behind the scenes stuff, which I'm sure Adam knows a whole lot more about this.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that Tom Cruise, I mean, we've been new. Tom Cruise is crazy, but some of the stuff that Tom Cruise makes some of the actors do, absolutely nuts. But I do think that it made that movie exponentially better, just because you could tell what was difficult to do and what was a breeze in the park for a pilot.
It's so crazy to see like the difference between that older movie that was CGI'd and now having to talk to the Navy, the Air Force, and the Defense Department. Hey, can we make a movie with your toys, please? And they go, yeah.
Yo, that's actually cold.
And
Like,
when you're sitting there watching them do dogfights, they're really doing dogfights. It's them in planes looking around, and everything's behind them is real. It is not CG. Even when the planes come through the canyon and stuff, it's like okay, we're ready. We're shooting. Like when they go through that open plane in the desert, when they're doing the training, that's real. That's them flying it. That's everything. And they're catching it on the camera. They're there and the plane is going over. And crazier, Jacob, when the stealth bomber in the beginning happens, that is real. It was a one take because they actually blew the set apart. That was a real stealth bomber flown over them. And when you see the like roof comes off and all that stuff, that is real. And they can only do one take because everything on that set was broke.
I will say that beginning scene was one of the best
That's insane.
beginning scenes that I've seen in a movie in a long time. And it really got you into the cinematography of all of it and how beautiful that movie was. Even if you didn't care for the storyline, that movie was shot so
when he
well.
does the U-turn, like over Earth.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
When he's doing the U-turn, when the plane at the beginning explodes, and you just see the shrapnel falling to Earth. And then I don't know why, but it's really stuck with me. The scene, I kind of know why it stuck with me, but the scene when Tom Cruise's first scene in the bar, where he's just like basically learned, oh, like I might be grounded. This really sucks. And he's like if all of our setup here, if you're watching the podcast, he's like to the left, if you're looking at us, of
Yeah.
Adam. Like he's hardly the focus of the scene, but that's somehow directly where your attention goes, and you just see him sulking there. And I don't know why it was so like such a perfect shot, but it was, to my knowledge, the perfect shot because it was a bar scene that didn't start with the scattering of pool balls.
Yeah.
I was just like, God, I'm like so tired of that trope.
What was the first?
They ended up doing it in 20 seconds later. Don't get.
What was the first scene that made you cry?
I actually didn't cry, but if I was more connected to the original movie, I think I definitely would have cried at the end with his relationship with Rooster. But I think the first scene I would have cried was the return of Iceman.
Yeah, Val Kilmer in that. I mean, what a horrible story. I mean, he's got throat cancer and he's been doing all. He originally didn't want to do it, but I almost called him Mel Gibson. Tom Cruise was like, "Look, this might be the last time we're in film together, and what better way to do it?" So,
and it's the way we started.
Yeah, kind of.
Together.
And yeah, it's funny because it's very much a love story about Maverick, but like it is also kind of a love story B for Iceman as well. And that's what I like. But the moment I would have cried, the moment I did cry first, Rooster playing the piano. And funny thing about that scene, that is an actual Navy bar on. They did the whole shoot at the facility, and those are all Navy men. There's all military and stuff like that. When you hear them chanting Rooster's name when he gets thrown over, that is real. He said it was just they got taken over by him playing the piano, and everyone was having fun. And they just started chanting. He said it was one of the coolest things ever.
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. And yeah, I will agree. I kind of forgot about that scene until now, but yeah, that scene was pretty powerful. Just him.
Well, let me remind you, nobody forgot
watching through the window.
Nobody forgot about this movie because currently, right now, $390 million.
Wow,
that's worldwide.
I will say, because as someone who has not seen it yet, but I am going to go see it. We've just been super busy, home stuff, baby to be.
Yeah.
Y'all, those of you who've been listening to the podcast, the audio version, or seen us on YouTube, y'all know I think Adam had a reignited hype for Top Gun like right before it came out. I think that was when we started, was like a week or maybe a couple of days before it came out. And it's so interesting to have seen you all of a sudden get that hype and then see it pretty early, and the same things that you were saying, I'm seeing the most random of people, like either, obviously commercials talking about it, but then like online, I'm seeing different mutuals and friends and even people in like my personal life talking about that movie, saying some of the same things that you're saying, like, yo, that's how you make a summer action flick.
It's hard to find somebody that says something bad about this movie.
Yeah, like people are like, yo, that's how you make a summer action flick. That's how you revive a series. Because, like a lot of times when Hollywood does like, we're going to go back to this old story that, we know right off the name, people are like, it's a cash grab. But when they really, this is the result of them doing it right. Like it's more necessarily just writing off the name. It was about actually doing something better.
So speaking of cash grabs, and this will actually kind of touch with Top Gun. Top Gun's definitely not going to be the number one movie in theaters this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Do we know what movie's going to be the number one movie? Speaking of cash grabs, because of stupid trends on TikTok.
Morbius.
It's Morbin time.
Yes.
And I don't know if you two have seen currently what happened. Did we see Jared Leto prank us all?
No.
He did a video on Twitter of him holding a script. And he folds it so nobody can see it, but then he opens it and it says Morbius 2. It's Morbin time.
I saw the thing of just the piece of paper. I didn't see him holding it. It's a Morbin time.
Oh
my God.
Jacob's over here, Matumbo waving his finger. No.
I will not tolerate the internet making a second Morbius film.
How funny is
Here's
that?
the
Right away,
problem.
Tyrese is like, "Oh, I don't want to hear anyone. When we're making a second one, I don't want to hear everyone shit." And now I'm sitting here like,
I lost
They re-
respect for
they
Tyrese. in the middle
really-
of this movie.
they
I'm done.
really might look. Morbius right now, worldwide, $163 million. After this weekend, it could double just because of the popularity of that.
Here's the thing. So first of all, I don't even know where the Morbin time thing started because I remember I actually saw people in comments asking, "Did he really say that in like the movie?" Because a bunch of motherfuckers didn't actually go see the movie, so they're seeing all this and they're like, "Yo, did he really say that?" I have seen so many live stream comments and people doing live streams talking and people making like Morbin time jokes, and the streamer or whoever's live says like, "Bro, y'all about to mess around and really give that movie a sequel, making hype off the meme. Like, please stop."
I want to make this very clear. So, Scream, you both saw the new Scream movie?
Absolutely not.
It's fantastic. What is wrong with you two?
I don't really watch
I have to
horror
be in-
movies. My wife doesn't like them. And
Yeah, I have to be in the
don't-
right mood to watch a scary movie. I've seen the first one, and I really
His
do love it.
face.
but-
He's so horrified with us.
I'm not gonna watch the second one.
All right, so you know the love that it got though, that like how
Yes,
everyone said how,
the
and
fandom
they
really,
got the sixth one on the way. So
came
right there,
yeah.
$140 million. It did $20 million, $23 million. I'm sorry, $23 million less than Morbius. It's getting a sequel. There's no way, and it's Sony, right? I mean, look, they gave us Venom, Let There Be Carnage,
Oh my god, that
And
was
we're-
hot
and-
ass.
and
I'm
we're
sorry.
gonna get another Venom.
Dude, Jacob is so mad right now.
I don't think after this weekend, I bet you, Jordan, I bet
Oh.
you Morbius at least does 25% more money. So 136 million, 25% more. I bet you after this weekend. Watch. Because there's no movie that came out this weekend. Like I saw one movie
Nope.
and the other movie was called Watched, which is a story about a girl who moves away from her boyfriend who is stalking her, and she puts a restraining order on him. Then he finds her, and then her neighbor is now stalking her as well. Go ahead.
I'm
Which one of those?
listening to you.
Out of the three of those, what are we watching? Crimes of the Future, Watched, or Morbius? Everyone's gonna go see Morbius this weekend.
I just, before he goes, I was listening to you, but I was trying so hard not to laugh. Y'all, if you're listening to the podcast, if you
Yeah,
go to
Jacob
the
walked the
video
fuck off.
version, KingVonSchweetz dipped. He was like, I gotta take a walk for a second.
You know the
Oh.
reason why
My chest.
we're gonna get real on this podcast. Do y'all want to know the reason why I take antidepressants?
For this shit.
One is because I was in a really terrible job working for a mouse, and two,
For a mouse.
people. That's it, people. And I'm telling you right now, jokes on the internet are jokes on the internet until they no longer are jokes.
You're not
Or-
wrong because that has
until they're
happened.
not funny anymore. Like, just the Morbius thing to me was never funny, but I understand it was funny to other people. And I saw a tweet that summed it up perfectly today. The best punchline to this joke is if nobody shows up to the re-release. That would be great. I would love that.
You have
However-
really strong feelings against Morbius.
However, I know Soups posted on Twitter today,
He's
what
going.
if I rent out a theater? I don't think he will. But the fact that that was a joke that he thought of guarantees to me that Morbius will return. And yeah, I do have strong feelings about Morbius because
And this weekend, this
gonna
is
live
what we'll get.
angry.
We'll get the, hey guys, so I just resaw Morbius. Like, we'll get the videos of everyone going to re-see it because it's been time.
and I need people to know that I will lose it. I will absolutely lose it, and I don't care what people think. And
Don't
on
forget, it
top
was the
of-
#1 movie on iTunes just the other day.
Oh my God.
No, Apple TV Plus.
Apple TV.
You're
#1
gonna give
movie.
this man. You're giving this man a headache.
All I needed to say is that I feel sorry for Jordan because I want to bring my child into a world where Sony has nothing to do with Spider-Man. And I really feel bad.
Damn.
I really
They
feel bad
are
for you, Jordan, because
pouring that web slinger out like crazy. And it's not even him.
I mean,
They're like,
my fiance wants to be pregnant within the year, and I'm like, listen,
same.
we gotta have Sony out before
We
that.
gotta have Disney buy Sony.
Disney needs to buy at least
It
Spider-Man.
doesn't- For me, it doesn't even need to be Disney. It just needs to be somebody. that knows what
but
they're
I think
doing.
that Disney's the only one who like has the comparative money.
Yeah.
I think people would want Disney to do it because it would mean Spidey comes back to Marvel.
But Kevin's done such a great job of like multiversing that universe in the Marvel universe. So like
that's the only redemption for me is just watching Kevin Feige mess up all their plans from a separate movie.
Yeah.
Just
we could probably go on. So
We
I'm
can.
gonna have to talk to you offline. Jacob. I just want to know. I have problems too, but you have a deep seated like. I feel the seething
hate
rage.
Sony. I hate Sony Entertainment. The only thing I like about Sony, and for those of you not watching, I'm currently showing a picture of my PlayStation 5. That is the only thing. The
Slight
only
flex.
thing that I will let.
jokes on us.
Sony-
Apparently they're putting a Pro out by the end of the year.
Yeah, and I'll buy that too. But that's the only thing I'm letting Sony have. Their movies are absolute garbage.
Into the
Except
Spider-Verse though?
For Toby,
Into the Spider-Verse.
for Toby, Andrew, and their animated films.
Okay.
Uh,
People have been
animated
saying
film.
they want to count animation separate.
There's actually a Sony movie,
Because-
and we'll talk about this next week. There's a Sony movie not being talked about that a couple of us have brought up, and no one's talking about it. And Julian just brought it up, so of course everyone's going to bring it up now. But we'll talk about it next week. But it's going to be a good movie. It's coming out around award season time, so that's probably why they're
I
not
think I
talking
saw
about
what
it.
you're talking about.
Yes, I know you probably did.
I can't remember what it was, but I think I saw the video you're talking about.
It's a very
'Cause-
woman-loaded movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anyways, so Morbius will be the #1 movie for this weekend,
It's always
dethroning
the
that.
#1 movie. in
But hey, if you don't
America.
want to go to the movie theaters, Amazon gave us a present early last night. We got 3 episodes of The Boys. Probably one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever had to watch.
I'm sorry. I know we're leaving it. I'm so heated. The people,
I did such a good like.
the people that
Oh,
love
that's
Morbius, honestly, are the people that should illegally stream it online. Please don't give that company any more money. Please don't. Anyway, what were you going to say about The Boys?
This man has.
I don't even want to
feelings.
talk again because as soon as I say something, I'm gonna be like, "So this," and he's like, "Yo, by the way, fuck Morbius."
I'm done. I'm done.
All right, so The
Oh,
Boys,
God. That was
third
hilarious.
episode, probably one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever watched. It's just cringe, and it wasn't even like disgusting. It was just like the words coming out of somebody's mouth, and I don't want to ruin it. It's not even been 24 hours, so
True
all
enough.
I will say is there is a line when you make television or make something, and everyone knows lines. They don't care.
They
And
do
they're
not.
doing whatever they want to do.
But they've shown that time and time and again. that
Correct.
they don't
And
care.
and
This
very
one
much
just
to me,
got.
and it very much to me is like the adult South Park. Like there was always that when you were growing up watching South Park, you watched it to like because they would do whatever they wanted to do, and they got away with it every time. This is very much The Boys. That is what this season is because it comes in the first 10 minutes heavy.
As someone who hasn't watched it yet, but I have heard a little bit about what has gone on. This is one I didn't really mind if I didn't catch up. I didn't realize they were dropping 3 episodes. It seems like they are going to go
This is the third
episodic,
season.
but that makes sense.
Oh.
Gimmicks. But like we were talking last week about how we were thinking it was going to be episodic. So when I saw you guys talking, saying that you were watching multiple episodes, I was like, they dropped everything. Like I was confused. But I have heard a little bit about some things said, and it's just like hopefully by the time it's been some time, we go more in depth. I'll have watched all 3 of them, so that way I can definitely give my take. Because
But you're
just
caught up as far as like
You
oh,
watch the
I'm
other
caught up. Yeah,
seasons.
yeah.
This
I've watched
isn't like
season 1 and
Stranger
2.
Things.
Yeah, no. Not you exposing me again. No, but I've watched season 1 and 2. And I know with the direction that a lot of things went in season 2, definitely a lot of history.
Mm.
And they
Don't
going
worry,
at it
soon you'll have
again.
plenty of time to catch up on all sorts of television shows.
Oh my God, when I'm at this house, I'm not going anywhere. Don't ask me to go out. For those of you listening and who are new, he's talking about the fact I got a baby on the way in August. So I'm going to be on this podcast half asleep.
Although maybe I see you in October. We see. Anyways, fingers crossed.
Your thoughts on the boys?
Mine is
No. I was pointing up to.
You're pointing at me technically. On my video, you're pointing at me.
So wait, who's going?
You.
I apologize if I keep coughing because I have something in my throat.
You're fine, bro.
Hey, never mind. I'm not going to do the joke. Never mind. Go ahead. Continue.
I just want to say I love The Boys. I think it's just like the perfect show right now. It really is a deep hate letter to our society.
Oh, really?
And it just makes me like, it makes me so happy that I'm not the only one that sees like a lot of these issues. And like, even if it's not so direct that you understand it on first watch, if you go back and rewatch each episode, there's some things in this show that are just so jarring because they're so realistic. Gosh,
I remember when someone first described The Boys to me, they were like, "Have you watched The Boys on Amazon?" And I was like, "People watch stuff on Amazon Prime?" Because like, there was a time where people weren't Prime Video. Everyone had it because they had Amazon Prime for shipping shit. And but they were like, "Yo, it's basically a world with superheroes, but if like superheroes were how they would really be in real life, like they wouldn't be
It's
all
like,
noble."
remember that shitty Marvel movie on or Marvel show on Fox where they showed them built taking care of the damage after a big fight? Think that with the superheroes, but real world, and add South Park to it. It's exactly what it is.
Yeah, like they were literally like, if superheroes were real, he was like, if we had real superheroes, they would be assholes. They would be getting brand deals. They would be doing anything for a buck. They would be partying, doing drugs, all this crazy stuff. Like, and it really is. And it's like Jacob said, they really show you like we messed up.
Yeah, I think it's funny like how it's really not, I mean, from at least the viewer perspective of watching the show, there's really no other country having this kind of issue. It's only the superheroes in America, which I think just speaks volumes.
Also, this is out of the context of TV. Am I pointing at Jacob right now?
Now you are kind of. Yeah. Now you are.
Oh, I had my camera mirrored all this time. So anyway, it was already checked in StreamYard.
When you're too IT.
Look, man, the only thing about IT, I'm just gonna be quiet.
Is it doesn't work? It doesn't work?
See, he's quicker than me. I'm pointing in the wrong one.
It's okay. So, boys, so far so good. Still cringe as shit that last episode, and I have no idea where we're going with that bombshell they give us at the end of the third episode. Don't even know where they're going.
Honestly,
with it now.
visually, I know what line was cringy to you because you told us before we started filming, but the scene that takes place in, I didn't even hear that line because visually things that are happening on screen are some of the cringiest things.
Yeah, that whole thing was just awkward.
Like, Jordan, I can't wait till you watch this episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna like immediately text you guys. I might even just like film my reaction because I have done that before. Like, seeing the end of an episode being wild.
Dinner scene. It's the last dinner scene.
Okay.
Just it's
all right. Be prepared. Anybody who anybody who's listening, I'll maybe get that reaction. I'm gonna send it to them, see what they think, and might post it on the YouTube channel, Daily Kazoo Podcast on YouTube.
Hey Jordan, did something get announced today? Technically, yesterday? No, yesterday. Yesterday, today. There was a photo that came out.
Yes.
What happened?
Yes, we had something. Oh my gosh, hold up.
Disney out here giving us stuff.
Disney is out here just giving all of everything, bro. Giving all of everything. Chrome tab. There we go.
As soon as you do it, boom, I got you.
All right, yeah, see that?
Percy Jackson, baby.
Boy, let's talk about it. Percy Jackson just officially started production, getting a new Percy Jackson and the Olympians Disney Plus series. This is just obviously 2 little set photos. That's fire, by the way. That's a fire shot. That's a fire. What are these called? Clappers, I think.
There's scene starters or something like that. I don't know.
Whatever. That looks fire. Like I would take one of those home. But yeah, Percy Jackson started production. For those of you who may be unaware, Percy Jackson, or the young adult, young teen book series, kind of in that same vein as like Hunger Games, Harry Potter. Harry Potter was like a predecessor, really. But Percy Jackson did have what was it, 2 movies? It was only 2 movies, right?
2. 2 was supposed to be a third. They never did a third.
Never did a third. So the movies, like when I was just a kid, wasn't that bad. Going back on a rewatch, it was like, okay. Biggest thing I think people always had a problem with the original movie rendition was they aged up all the characters. For those of you unaware, Percy Jackson, he's a young demigod, finds out he is half god, and gets taken to like a summer camp where he learns to fight, become a warrior, whatever.
It's like Camp Rock, but Clash of the Titans.
Yeah, exactly. And so he's 12 in the books. With the movies, they aged everyone up he aged him up to 16. So then they had an actor who was literally like, probably anywhere from 18 to 20 playing him. So like eventually you take too long to make enough movies, he's going to age out. So one thing people are looking forward to with this is Walker Scobell. He was recently in The Adam Project. He was cast as Percy Jackson. Who are the
but
other
speaking
2?
of like hatred, the female actress in this also got it, remember?
Similar thing. Toxic viewership, bro. It's not fans, because that junk is ridiculous. Yeah, we had Walker Scobell. They announced Annabelle's actress. She will be played by a young Black girl, and then Grover will be played by a Southeast Asian. So we got Walker Scobell, and then Aryan Simhadri and Leah Jeffries. Leah Jeffries will be Annabelle, and Aryan will be Grover.
I'm excited. I like the movies. I thought they were decent. I rewatched them again the other day. Same thing. Gave me early Harry Potter feels, because it's very similar. Like I like the movies, but they're okay. So I just wonder what they're doing with this. Yeah, I just wonder how they're gonna go with it and stuff. But yeah, I'm excited about it. Jacob?
I'm just happy that I didn't really understand like who or why people were excited about Sally Jackson or Mr. Brunner's casting, but Mr. D.
There you go.
Jason Mantzoukas is the perfect casting for that role. Like originally, like with the movies, it was Stanley Tucci, and I love Stanley Tucci. Yeah. He's one of the best actors we have. But I think the character in the books, at least, gives me a little bit more of the feel of Jason Mantzoukas. And if you don't know who that is, he was I can't even remember his name, but he was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's been in he's been in countless rom-coms and just comedies, and he's all over it. If you look up the name, Jason,
I'm working on it.
It's Mantzoukas, I believe. One of the funniest guys out there.
Spell that right?
Yeah, Mantzoukas.
You really just spell? Well, no, because like you said it, but I had an article about it, and I was like, did you just fell that right off the dome. Like,
Getting ding
Help me
afterwards.
out.
It's not a real thing.
but yeah, he's perfect for that role. And I was already super excited for this movie or this show. But I think with him as Mr. D and with these three kids that they have playing Grover and Annabeth and Percy, I think they have a fire show lined up for us.
Oh yeah.
They have people who they have castings who can grow with the show. Like, because I think that's what, as much as some people don't necessarily like that eventually for their acting or career or whatever, I mean, it matters to get that role that kind of like solidifies you for like a long standing casting. I definitely think this will work better as a show in this day and age because the Disney Plus shows have allowed us to get like a high, it's kind of like an extended movie feel. As long as this isn't a limited series, if they're making this to where it's a long running show to go over the material of the books but explore it more. Because that's the thing with movies, right? Like, they'll have all the source material, but they can't actually fit the exact book into a 2 hour movie or whatever. If
Yeah.
they were actually to do like bar for bar everything that happened in the book, you'd have a 4 or 5 hour movie every time. So with a show, they can explore like an entire season is just the first book, however long that might be. But still, if you got even if you have 30-minute episodes, not saying that they would, I feel like they're gonna go 45 minutes to an hour. But if they had
Probably.
30-minute episodes, 12 episodes a season, that's still 6 hours, which is much better than a 2 hour movie trying to squeeze in the first book. So I am stupid excited for it. Because I always wanted, I was an avid Harry Potter lover, read all the books, read all the books like all the time, soon as like they came out. And then eventually Percy Jackson was the same thing, was reading the books. I think I eventually fell off of it. But when the movies came out, I wanted them to get the same like long-standing love that Harry Potter did.
Yeah.
Where like they like kept coming with movies and explored like the whole lore. And then it never happened. So I'm hoping that this is the opportunity for that.
I
And
agree.
one last thing, really fun fact for everybody listening. Percy Jackson's Sea of Monsters, even though feel how you feel about it, I don't actually even remember anything about the movie, was actually the first date my wife and I went on.
I'm really sorry about
Oh, this is a good one. What was the first movie you saw with your significant other? So obviously yours was Percy Jackson. Jacob, what was yours?
Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh,
Nice.
It was my second watch.
mine was Baywatch The Rock.
Jeez.
And it was here's the
Rough.
best part, right? We went to go see it. It was our first date. We saw it because she works in the city. My wife works in the city and in New York. And I met her after work. We went to a theater over there, saw the movie. I don't hate the movie. I think it's just a dumb, fun movie. Not, like an early 2000s, late 90s type of dumb
Zac
thing.
Efron, Dwayne Johnson, it's
Yeah,
like, you can't be
like-
too serious with that.
Yeah. So next day we talk about movie's not bad, whatever. We both get on our phones and there was a report the theater got shut down for 2 days because it had bed bugs in the theater.
Oh my god.
That was our first date.
Both of our faces for the oh my god. Those who are watching get to see mine and Jacob's eyes popped open. That's
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah, that was ours. So
Oh, we also saw it at like the $5 theater. Like, I don't even think, because I was in high school, by the way, for those of you listening, don't come at me about being broke. Yes, I was broke. I was in high school. But which means it had made its way out of, this was at like a local $5 theater. It was like, well, actually, it wasn't even a $5 theater. It was actually a $2 theater.
was it like one of the theaters where they were like kind of occasionally bring movies back or whatever?
It was basically when they were out
Like
of
they do it,
Regal
like they're
and
doing with
AMC.
Morbius?
No, because it was basically like when it was out of Regal and AMC, but before it came to DVD, because you knew the time to DVD didn't used to be so quick. And now so many things come direct to streaming services after they're out of the theater. But it was like a middleman. It was like the local $2 theater got the movies like about 2 months after, but before the DVDs came out. So it technically the movie didn't get my full $1, but
Technically,
also,
mine don't either because I'm a Stubbs member. So,
well, we're all the
best thing
flexing on this
ever.
podcast today.
Yo,
First, this man with the PS5.
hashtag ad,
this
not
man-
an ad. That's like the best thing, honest to God. That AMC stub thing, I pay $25 a month and I can see 3 movies in any format a week.
It is pretty sick, especially if you go see a lot of movies.
I do. I see tons. I saw one today even. I saw the new movie that just came out, Crimes of the Future. It's a neon movie. It is also fucking weird. It's so pain is taken away from humans. They're talking about like how pain's not a thing in the human body anymore. It's about evolution, and the way that they get pleasure anymore is like by cutting, and it's just a whole wild thing. Like a guy sews his eyes shut and mouth shut and gets surgically put on ears all over him, and it's not about seeing or talking anymore, it's about hearing everybody. And then he does this weird dance movement thing, and it's like some it's crazy, the whole thing. And then like they do art, but the art is he grows extra organs inside of himself and she tattoos them, and then they pull them out, and it's weird. The whole thing's just crazy. But the weirder thing about this movie is
wild.
It's like 2 hours long, right? And you're sitting there and the whole time you're just kind of like, what is going on? And then finally you get like, oh, okay, I kind of get what's going on. And then the end credits are rolling, and you're like, wait.
That's the end of the movie.
Wait. Like, to give any nerd out there an idea of like what I'm talking about, imagine Henry Cavill walks out of the ship, right? And it's right before he does that fist to the dirt, the rock starts going around the pebbles, and then he blasts off and does his first like really big fly, right?
And then the movie ends.
And then the movie ends. Like, that's literally what happened.
The only thing I could think of while you were describing that movie was the quote from Spy Kids 2. Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives with what he's created?
Yeah,
they cut the movie because they were like, "Yo, we just need to stop."
Like, good. It's got a good cast, like Kristen Stewart.
That doesn't mean anything.
Vigo, shut your mouth.
It doesn't. When you've got a storyline,
a
storyline that involves somebody sewing a bunch of ears to themselves.
It's weird. It's not like A24 weird where like it's artistic and cool. Like I'm with it.
Weird to be weird.
It's weird.
Like being weird.
Yeah, just weird. I'm guessing they'll do another one.
Why?
What's he gonna sew onto his body in the second one?
No, he's actually like against it. He thinks it's disgusting, and these people are trying to. So this 8-year-old, it starts with this horrific thing, and I don't want to bring it up because it's children and things. It's just not a topic to bring up right now. But this kid is born naturally, but the dad had this stomach put in him where he can only eat plastic, and that helps them age better. I don't know what it does, but the son is actually made. Yep, there you go. There you go.
Are you describing a fever dream?
What?
No, this is exactly what the movie was. It's a whole thing.
Sorry. So I was waiting just to say, so for those of you who are watching on YouTube, I'm wearing an anime shirt. So like I do watch, I watch anime. I haven't been as current on it because there's too much going on.
So but weird anime. Like this is weird,
when this
weird
man
anime.
Said sew ears on. Those of you who have watched Naruto, the immediate thing I thought of was Danzo. He puts a bunch of Uchiha eyes on his arm, like implants them so he can use their power. They have a power through their eyes. But anyway, that sounds like what you described, but with the ears, which had me like really weirded out. And now you just said he used a stomach that digests plastic. Nothing does that.
He makes it. He like has it surgically put into him. There's a whole thing. But then because he had the surgery, his son was naturally born with it. As if like I cut my pinky off and now
because
all my
they
children have no
assimilated
pinky.
to his body because it assimilated like
whole thing
genetically to his body. Okay. So if you are an AMC Stubbs member, you too can use one of your movies for the week to go and see something really odd and random and absolutely
And we're not talking about
insane.
Morbius.
Or you can go and see Bob's Burgers 3 times and not waste your money.
Wow, that is rude.
Cause that sounds so odd, bro. That is something that I would only go see if I still worked at the theater or knew someone to where I could just get in free. Cause like when I used to work at the theater, I would go see random shit because I'm like, I'm not
Here,
paying money for it.
right here,
I'm sorry.
right here. See it? So he had ears all over his body like that.
I
And
could
then
have
his
lived without
eyes.
seeing this, Adam.
What?
I could have lived with my life.
Like
without
this is a whole thing. But like this is what the movie is.
You're gonna make this man close his eyes.
Like just weird.
seeing it. So my eyes
Right
shut.
here. There you go. There you go. And then he starts doing a interpretive dance. Oh, there you go. Interpretive dance.
Y'all, wait, this was the movie poster?
Yeah, it's one of them.
Y'all, so if you're listening to the podcast and you do
Told you,
decide you want to
ears
go
all
watch,
over.
skip over this part.
It was a weird ass movie. It was a weird ass movie. That's all I had to say. I'm done
crimes
now.
of the future. It's crimes of the future
Crimes of the
because that's a
future.
crime against humanity.
More like
Crimes of-
crimes of the present.
Yeah, seriously.
Like
It
whoever
was
who
something.
greenlit this? Who greenlit
Neon.
this?
I can tell you right now. Neon is who did it. And director is David Cronenberg. What else has David Cronenberg done?
They shouldn't keep doing things.
I feel
Well,
like if I was watching this movie in
Actually, one of them is fantastic. He's known for weird stuff. Anybody? Shot in the Dark? He did the original Fly, Dead Ringers,
He shouldn't have done this.
Crash, like in
Crash.
1996 Crash.
Yeah,
Like
Crash is a
he
good movie.
did Crash. So it's not
Watch
like
that
he
in theater
doesn't do
class.
weird. It's not like he doesn't do weird things.
I don't care.
I feel like if
Go
I
away.
saw this movie in theaters, I would expect my popcorn bucket to be filled with like asparagus instead of popcorn. Like nothing should be normal.
No, it's not. There's nothing normal about this at all.
So even
Nothing.
even being a viewer shouldn't be normal about it.
No, there's nothing normal about this movie at all.
My icy they should get if I go pay for an icy, I go to drink it. It's just water.
Honestly,
It's
like
human blood.
if it continued, it was going to be
Or
great.
Morbius sweep.
You're an idiot. If it continued, it probably would. I would have felt better about it. It's like a 4.3 for me. It's
4.2.
yeah, it's a 4.3. It's a 4.3. Like it's okay.
Oh, we love Adam scoring here.
Whatever.
No,
4.3. It's okay.
As soon as you said the Henry Cavill thing, like steps out of the ship,
It literally
after
was.
you had described the movie, I was like, he flies away and that's the end of the movie. I was like, that would piss me the fuck off.
Or even better, actually, you're understanding like, oh, what he's going through, and the pebbles just rotate around the fist, and then goes. You never see the fly. You never see him
Sounds
fly.
like Blue Balls.
Fantastic Four film.
Yeah. No. This makes
Say that again?
this makes Fox
Fantastic.
this makes Fox Fantastic Four look like Shawshank Redemption. Like this is weird and not great.
This is hilarious. All right.
I'm just glad I didn't waste 2 hours of my time watching that movie.
I just want to say, yeah, I'm kind of with that. That's 2 hours that I could go and go make some videos or I guess read my Bible. It's like, Lord.
Well, I know he made the Morbius reference, so let's talk about it. So Madam Webb got some big news this week.
Oh, okay. I was like, where are you going with this? I was like, I thought we
I'm
were
going exactly where I was going with it. So first off, I don't hate the cast of Madam Web.
The only
the
thing I've
casting
known is
is
Sydney
great.
Sweeney and Dakota Johnson.
Well, Isabel Merced, I believe is how you say her last name. Did Dora, which actually made tons of money. What
I
else?
watched it. It actually wasn't bad, but I mean, it was still funny. It was
Right.
still laughable.
And then we have, I'm going to butcher her name up probably, and I don't mean to. No, Celeste O'Connor. She is from the new Ghostbusters movie. That's kind of like her biggest thing right now. Let me see. Yeah, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Freaky. Yeah, she's only been in a couple things. She's in it as well. But this is they just announced Isabel Merced is being introduced, which makes it a third female spider person. Apparently, it seems like of some sort. What's Sony gonna do with this movie? Who knows?
There was an idea about an extraordinary group of women.
And then Sony got a
In the
hold of it
Sony
and they
universe.
said, "Hold my beer. I'll make this horrible."
I just want to say it's really funny that Isabella Merced apparently played a character called Isabella in Transformers: The Last Night.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
I will say I do think she's a very talented actress. I think she would be a good choice for Black Cat. But
Agreed.
I also haven't seen we talked about this. I
Euphoria.
haven't seen Euphoria, so a lot of people have said Sydney Sweeney could be a good cast for that as well, but
but the moment that they put her in Madam Web, I feel like they're wanting to make her a spider person. So
Dakota Johnson is Madam Web, to make this clear.
No, I know that. I think
for everyone listening, Dakota is Madam Web. What these other three women are going to be, we don't know right now.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I thought the similar thing. I saw posts about Sydney Sweeney being like a good cast for a Black Cat, especially after the end of No Way Home. You know, like Peter's gonna have a little bit of a quest, hopefully, where there's someone new. I've had multiple people say, like, I kind of hope MJ's not even in that movie, actually, simply because, like, so that he truly has a movie, like, he's having to start over. But anyway, people started saying, like, yo, Sydney Sweeney should definitely come in and be because I think Gwen Stacy already exists in his universe. I think
it's Sony. I don't know what universe we're in.
Anyway, but the moment that they cast her in Madam Web, though, I kind of have the feeling a lot of people are saying, like, that sounds like Spider-Gwen, possibly.
Maybe, but like, I don't know. I'm holding my breath. Look, they gave me Into the Spider-Verse, they're giving me Across the Spider-Verse, and they're giving me Beyond the Spider-Verse. They've done some fantastic things. Like Into the Spider-Verse, arguably, I would actually agree, is one of the best Spider-Man movies ever. It's a good argument. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it's a good argument.
I'm with the side that says it is the best Spider-Man movie.
Right, and I'm kind of there with you.
People who hate on it because it's got the medium of animation freaking kill me too.
Yeah,
I'm like, bro, it's a great movie. I remember. So this is as someone who, like, I saw the trailers for it and didn't really know how it felt because of the animation style, the way that they make Miles, and apparently it's specifically Miles who he moves on like a 2/4 beat, basically, whereas everyone. Yeah, and the whole point is it slowly, like, kind of smooths out as he grows into being Spider-Man. I remember not even watching that movie until it came to Netflix on a family beach trip, and I was mad at myself for not watching that movie earlier because it was an actually fantastic movie.
Hey, Sony, there's a movie you need to put back in theater.
Well, so that's what I was gonna say is I actually have seen people say, like, yo, like, I understand it's a different team, but, like, can y'all talk to the writers in Sony Animation? Like, on the animation side, why do y'all not, like, partner or some shit?
I think they will.
They made a good Spider-Man movie. Like,
I think they're going to re-put it in the theater, but I think it's going to be like a double feature type thing, you know, where it's
they do it right before Across the
Spider-Verse. Right, they'll do that and it goes right in, like they did with Infinity War.
I will go watch that.
Yeah, I would too. I'll probably do the double feature for that as well. But excited. But also hesitant. It's a weird feeling.
Skeptical about any Sony Marvel movie, especially
kinda
like not even just Morbius, bro. Venom: Let There Be Carnage was hot dog water.
It
like,
still made tons of money. That's the thing.
I don't care.
You know what movie is going to make tons of money? Welcome to Jurassic Park. We get Jurassic World Dominion next week. I've got a early access live Q&A. Cannot wait. I'm super pumped for that. But there is a double feature if you want to see the two movies. You haven't seen them yet. Double feature is happening at AMC. Sure, it's happening other places, but AMC. More importantly, I will give a shout out. My boy Stry Goofy is hosting a watch is hosting a movie at Regal, and immediately after that, a live return, first time in almost a year, Geek of the Week podcast with Jay Stoobs, and their guest is Coy. So that should be fantastic. Happy to put their podcast is back. Good friends. Wish them nothing but the best. I think it's be fire. But before we go, something else we're getting next week. And you want to talk about hate? I can't wait for someone to say something stupid because I'm going to go down their throat because I think this movie or this show.
Okay. I thought we were talking about something else. So go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
I cannot wait for Miss Marvel next week.
You said movie, and I thought
I did. I corrected myself when you said, okay, we're done. Show Miss Marvel. Cannot wait for Miss Marvel.
I'm excited for Miss Marvel. Don't get me wrong, but I'm still mad about the powers.
I get it, but like you can't, as a comic person, right? And I'm with you. I think it's horrifically important that they needed to keep the power because of what it meant. I do not disagree. But we have not had an Inhuman fight. There's been no Terra Bomb. It's hard to explain how she got her powers if none of that happened.
That's fine. But from what I understand, at least from like the trailers and things, they're magical like bangles or whatever those are called.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I don't know the terminology. So like, why couldn't they just give her what her powers are actually in the comics?
So it's a double-edged sword, I think. What I think is at the end of this, what will happen is we will see that those were made by similar people who made Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings, made the actual 10 Rings from Shang-Chi. I think that's where they're going with it because they couldn't do her original powers because of there's like I said, there was no fight, there's nothing like that. That's what I think is going to happen. But because I know a bunch of people went to the premiere last night and today and stuff like that, and they've seen it.
No, that was happening.
And
it was here already.
It's a 2-episode premiere, and it's June 8th. It's literally in 5 days.
Same. So much content.
Everyone says how great it is, but they do say it is kid. It's a very kid-oriented type of show, right? And it's very Marvel different. PG. It's a very different feel. And a friend of mine, Dom, which I know Jordan, you know, she saw too and said the same thing of like, it's great. It's a breath of fresh air in this heaviness of Marvel that we've had of like loss and death and just all this different things. It's nice and fun. So I'm excited.
I think it's oh, you're muted, bro.
I'm excited. I think that they really have to impress me a lot with her power set being changed. And I don't know. There was this thing today where I already like the casting a lot because Amon Villani said, she said something like I think it was on the red carpet. She said something along the lines of like, I don't care what Kevin Feige says. The MCU is Earth 19999. It's not 616. And I was like, I like this kid. I like this kid.
And it's funny. It's funnier if you think about it because like you know how those people are like, oh, I've been reading this comic since I was a child, and like now they're playing that person. It's like you weren't. Don't lie to us like that. It's fine. There's actually a photo of her when she was 15 for Halloween, dressed as Miss Marvel, because she got into comics. She was reading Ironheart, loved Ironheart. There was a cover with Ironheart and Miss Marvel, and she goes, "Oh my God, she looks like me. It's a brown superhero."
That's
and
awesome.
She said that's what got her into it. It was she looked like and now she's playing her hero. Like, how many people can sit there and say, I have it, like, I'm going to sit there and I've got a dream and I'm going to do this, and they do it. You know what I mean? Like, that is something.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for her.
Yeah. It's really, I think it's really good for her. That's a really dope story too. Because again, that's why it is important That is why it is important to explore these different characters, to explore more diverse characters.
Well, and it's a
Because
great photo of her and Sochi together at the red carpet today
yeah,
or yesterday.
yeah,
It was a great photo of the two of them together hugging, and I was just like, yes, that's right. Tell
yeah.
the
I mean,
internet to go fuck themselves. That's right.
right, and it's really good that she saw that character in comic book form and was like, "Yo, she looks like me," and like, "Yo, now she's playing her." And other people are getting to experience that in a different medium. They're gonna see her on TV and be like, "Oh, she looks like me."
Yeah.
Um, as far as the show, it because they're exploring a more niche character. There, Marvel's doing that thing again, where I mean, again, same way the MCU started, right? Going with the characters that not necessarily people know
Mhm.
about, and they're like, let's try something with them. I feel like the show could potentially be one that a lot of people might kind of skip. They'll be like, let me know if something really groundbreaking to the whole story happens by the end. But at that point, you just might read a synopsis. I think most people who will probably give it a chance are, big fans like us who want to keep up with everything and kind of see what we can pick apart and find, and just enjoy it, hopefully. And then there's others who, they are younger, audience, so this will just be like this will be possibly their introduction to Marvel.
Yeah.
And again, that's why probably Disney is doing what they're doing with making it a little bit more youthful. Because they're giving a character that can hopefully like grow up in the universe for a couple years.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna watch it. It definitely seems like one that kind of similar to Hawkeye in that, except minus having an older character to
I
really
think it's going to be
push
very
out a story.
Hawkeye-ish, but
Mhm.
more on the younger adult side, like the younger kid side.
Yeah.
To go. So now you brought up Hawkeye. Actually, did you see that when they put it in for uh, what's the awards for TV's Emmys, right? If I'm
Yeah.
yeah, for that they put in, but they changed it from miniseries to uh series, just or something. I forget what they changed it, but they changed it. So
They did that
now
with
there's a
Hawkeye too.
what?
They did that with Hawkeye too,
Yeah,
because I know they did it with Moon Knight.
right,
Because now people are expecting a season 2.
correct. So
But I
now
didn't know
it's
they did it with Hawkeye.
yep, did it with Hawkeye as well. So we could get a second season of Hawkeye, which I think
Wow.
honestly, if we get a second season of Hawkeye, it's not what we had. I think this is if they do this,
Okay,
it would be a West Coast Avengers setup and him training and finding them and bringing them all together and getting the girls. So like Kamala Khan, Kate Bishop, which in the comics they're best friends. Correct on that one. I wanted to say I was like, yeah, I know, that's the two.
They're
Uh,
pretty close. I don't know if they're.
Mhm.
I
right.
can't remember if they're best friends.
I
besties.
don't know if they're doing like duets on TikToks or not. No, but that and then like you'll still have Kate, like I said, Yelena might be there. Like you have this group, right? So I think that's what we could see is trying to get them to work together. I think that'd be fun. Kevin,
Yeah,
Kevin, if you want a script, let me know. I got you.
yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty good. In general, something that I said it reminded me of from the trailer reminds me of Turning Red, where like it might be a little bit more than we expect, just because when you think about like the little tropes, like the little
Mhm.
animation things, if those actually happen, I hope that they
They
do. I
do.
hope that they
They
weren't just
do.
for okay,
They
okay,
do.
cool. Like the little animations that happen, kind of like they
Yeah.
would have like the little big eyes and Turning Red and
Very
their
coming of
little boy
age is what
crazy.
I keep hearing.
Yeah, so I think it'll be a nice little fun show, maybe a breath of fresh air. It might not be my favorite. Like I'm gonna be honest, it's probably not gonna be high on my tier list because it's gonna probably be happy go lucky. It's gonna be a little bit more kid like, but again,
But remember, Marvel never gives us, for everyone listening, I get he's saying, oh, you might watch it. Marvel never gives us something that you don't need to watch for some reason.
It's probably just the intro of the character for this one, though.
I
except,
agree.
except Venom 2. Except Venom 2. You can skip that.
Marvel didn't give us that technically.
Well,
It
I
was
know,
technically Marvel.
but no. I will. So here's my thing with saying that. It's that a lot of people are like, oh, do I need to watch Venom 2? And it's like, oh, yeah, there is an end credit scene that brings him into the MCU. But then, like, again, you don't have to watch the movie for that.
No. I mean, no. Anyways,
Hoping-
moving away from this. Yes.
I'm hoping that Miss Marvel has like a very John Hughes, like 80s school, like, like Ferris Bueller or
Yeah.
Or like
Yes,
Breakfast Club kind of vibes.
that would be that I would be happy with. I think that'd be really, really cool. I don't know if that's what we get, but I agree. Yeah, that possibly could be where they go with it. I didn't see the 2 episodes. A couple of my friends have. They said it's like everyone else is saying, it's fun, it's light, coming of age. Those are all the main points that everyone keeps hitting. So we'll see. We'll see what we get with it. Comes out the
I can't
8th.
believe we get this already, bro.
We get Jurassic World. Well, here's the funnier part about all this, right? So we still have Kenobi going, and then now we're gonna get Miss Marvel starting next week, and then August 31st we get Andor, which is a 12 episode series, so long. But before then, July 1st, we get the last 2 episodes of Stranger Things for the season, and that's just show stuff. And then this week, the whole week this week, starting the 6th, so Monday to Friday, Netflix is doing the Netflix Geek Week again. And it's got tons of our friends doing the show this week, and they're talking about like Sandman on Netflix coming out in October, and Stranger Things and all that stuff. They're talking about all these new shows, and it's geeky, so that's what it'll be. So that's what we got. But I mean, like, obviously Netflix ain't going to be talking about Obi-Wan, which is winning right now. I'm just saying. The force is strong with that show.
Bruh. I got to watch episode 3 finally today. And oh my God. So, hey, speaking of, actually, Jacob, you probably could have a little bit to say about this, bruh. Obi-Wan, the last episode you were talking about how I hope it's not like we saw Darth Vader at the end of episode 2. And then all of a sudden, like, we just don't see it. He better be in that thing. He was in it, wasn't he?
Yeah.
They literally Legoed him in the beginning.
Yep.
Bruh. They really did.
Yeah, they put him together and everything. Yeah, it's fantastic. That last fight, which everyone's kind of like not giving it shit. It was so powerful of a statement that they're missing it. The people that are like, oh, that was the fight we got. Yeah, that's the fight you got. You got Vader trying to kill him and Obi-Wan fighting himself because he hurts for how this is all going down. He left his best friend brother to die. Find out he did that wrong, and he still feels guilty about what happened to him. He's blames himself
lay in the face.
He blames everything on himself.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought, now granted, I mean, I don't get what people would have beef with. Like, you don't understand the idea of revenge. I mean, the whole point, I mean, obviously, guys, we kind of go really after show with this. These episodes come out a pretty good amount of time after stuff drops. So we normally get into the details a little bit, especially about stuff we're real passionate about, as long as it's not too current. And the whole thing being, like, if you've seen the prequel movies, and if you just know the lore of Star Wars, if you're familiar, you know that Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker fought, and he severs Anakin's limbs, and Anakin gets set on fire and roasts like a chicken. So when Darth Vader catches up to Obi-Wan, it's like, because I was really confused when he pulled down that container of stuff. I was like, why did he do okay? And all of a sudden Darth Vader lights that thing on fire, and he
drags him through it
on there, drags it through it. Like, hey, bro. Now, granted, though, I will say he had that man burning in that fire for a minute, but it only took a couple seconds for him to get completely lit and roast all them years ago.
And he wasn't even in the fire technically. It was like there was gap. There was a gap to it.
Yeah, I remember. I feel like even as a younger kid, like, I saw that, was like, his foot wasn't touching it though.
I mean, like, I get the heat, I get the whole idea of the lava and stuff like that, whatever. But like, yeah, there was a gap. Like, but he held Obi-Wan there for a second, and then when you see him afterwards, he got like a couple burns. I mean, he still got a sleeve. I'm like,
he was on there for a hot minute.
Yeah,
like, I was like, hey.
If that was a burger, that bottom part of that burger is burnt, bro. Like that burnt.
To be fair, I guess you could think of it almost like reality shows, right? Yeah. Like, when they have the tense moments, and then they'll show different people's faces with tense music, and it makes it seem like it's happening for a long time, but really all they did was take a bunch of different shots that could have been from any potential moment in that situation and put them together to make it seem like there's an awkward silence. So it could be that the whole thing is like it only really lasted like maybe 5 seconds, but
Yeah.
it was just the back and forth of or
The
whatever.
symbolism though
But
of like Vader with the flames in his eyes. Oh, so good.
bro, when he popped up behind him and that red lightsaber came out. Now, granted, I was like, all right, now start fighting. And then he just lets him run away and he's just like, all right, I'm gonna put it back.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
not
so
gonna keep
good.
it out.
Kenobi's so good right now. I can't wait. We get another Kenobi episode next week. We get Miss Marvel next week. Apparently, as of today, it was announced. I mean, not announced, but we've got Black Adam posters now. So it seems that we are getting within the next couple days a Black Adam trailer. Finally, I guess. More importantly, can I get some freaking Buzz Lightyear tickets? Buzz Lightyear tickets aren't even on sale yet, but I can buy. I got Black Phone, which doesn't come out until the end of the month, and I had these Q&A tickets like a month ago. I'm just saying, can we get some Buzz Lightyear tickets? Because A, it's in 2 weeks from today. B,
How was that so soon already?
it's on the best day ever. I actually heard they might make June 17th a national holiday. It's my
Really?
birthday, bitches.
I'm dead. This guy. I just realized, Jacob, you been quiet for a minute. Did you have thoughts?
No, like I think that the third episode for me was probably the weakest thus far. But I did whatever hot take, but
We could go and talk about it. Talk about
I
it.
think there's just like little that you can do with characters that survive this show as far as like threatening them.
Oh
And,
yeah.
like putting him on like the hot coals for a second was just I was just like
It was
oh,
a
no.
little long to me.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, what's gonna happen? I was like, I wonder if he'll live.
well,
Well, it's like watching the
mainly here
prequels,
for,
right?
like, the story and
Originally.
dialogue.
Well, it's like watching the prequels originally, right? They're like, it's like Anakin. If you knew what was happening, obviously, but it was like Anakin and stuff in like Clone Wars and everything. Like, oh, will he die? But like one of these, no, he's not going to die. It's not happening.
Well, so the other thing I will say, because I agree with you on that fact, is that it's the same effect as Red Dead Redemption 2 had for me. The moment that they announced that the sequel to a long-awaited game like Red Dead Redemption was a game people loved and played for a long time on 360, and they talked about a sequel for years, and then it kind of died down, and then finally a sequel comes out. Turns out it's a prequel, and it's kind of like we know how this ends. So like we waited all these years to see this, and we know how it ends. I think the Coles, it was a little long, but the point of it was to make a statement. Like it was supposed to be like, hey, this is the first time I'm seeing you, and the first thought in my mind is, I want you to feel a fraction of what I felt like out there on fire. Again, I kind of agree with you that I think it could have been executed a little bit better. Because again, he's like dragging him across them slowly. He's just holding them there.
It's
for a
like
long
the
time.
Michael Myers, Austin Powers, the Zamboni. Like when they're like, no, and it's just so far away, and it's just like, okay, how long is this going to take? It's that. It's like them sitting there doing that forever.
And he's like,
Yeah.
and like I was cool with him. I was cool with Vader doing it. Sorry, and I don't mean tangent on but Vader. You guys were talking last week about it better be like get down and gritty Vader. When he popped up on that planet, he was not playing games with them people. He was like, hey, I'm not saying anything, but you could tell from everything. He's like, I know you're here, and I'm just gonna start hurting people until you come out. And if anyone tries to resist, they getting hurt too. It was nuts. And so that's where I got where they were going with the Coles and then him putting Obi-Wan on them. It again was just like he's giving him a I want to make you suffer and feel it for a minute moment. But they just kind of kept going back and forth, and he was on it for a long time. I was like, all right, now enough. We know how this ends. He gets away.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, but it's still fantastic. Show's
The
doing well.
moment is great. The moment is
the
great.
Rotten
James
Tomato
Earl
score
Jones.
drives me up. At 91 years old, this man is still
James Earl Jones
doing his thing.
Well, I read that they didn't record any new lines; that it was just they just reused audio, kind of like what they did with
Leia,
Leia. Yeah,
with Carrie Fisher.
I didn't know that.
That's like a confirmed thing. Like,
yeah, I saw that it was confirmed today.
Dang, I was thinking he was still kicking it because I saw just everyone on the timeline.
Yeah, because everyone's
before
posting
I
it like
watched
that.
They were like, "Yo, James Earl Jones still is the voice of Vader." Like even the articles on an article on CNN said James Earl Jones is back as the voice of Vader. They obviously clickbait if it's that they just used old audio. But you know, it's still good to hear him iconically be that character.
Oh yeah,
seeing Obi-Wan and Darth Vader reunite for the first time outside of what we saw in the original trilogy.
yeah, I can't wait.
It was great. I enjoyed. But as you guys can see, there can be different ranges of opinions. Notice how, again, I'm a newer Star Wars fan. I was like, oh, this is great. Adam loved it. Jacob was like, this is the weaker of the episodes to me. And that's okay. And we don't have to be assholes about it. Or we can be assholes, but we
this camera
do
turns
that
off.
out of
One
love.
of us is going to be probably.
But no, I'm talking as far as this is how
No, I know.
fandoms work.
Oh yeah,
not toxic viewers.
He's allowed to have his opinion. It's wrong, but he's allowed to have his opinion.
Oh, you guys.
All right, so what do we got next week? Black Adam trailer, possibly. We've got Miss Marvel. We've got Jurassic World Dominion. What else? The Boys.
More Obi-Wan.
More Obi-Wan. Who knows what else we randomly might get? But yeah,
maybe dropping stuff in the middle of the week, bro. Like,
well, in the finals, and the NBA finals are going on right now. So you know how Marvel and DC and everyone loves working with the NBA. So
they love dropping a trailer in the
they
middle
do.
of the game.
They do. Like just like Boston dropped that W on them. Anyways,
this guy.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, we'll see everybody next week. Like I always say, I don't say anything usually. So
this guy. Oh my god.
All right,
I was sitting here waiting on him like
nothing. I'm the official Megs.
I am JPhrygian, even though he didn't point at me.
I didn't.
My bad. I just wasn't even looking.
Whoever was going to answer, I knew one of you were going to do it.
And I'm KingVonSchweetz.
Hey, we will see you guys next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.